And we are live. Let's get it. Okay, we are gonna open this first, just to see what we get. I think we got coins. That makes sense. We don't have any packs, I believe. Let me see. Nope, I opened them up. All right. We are going to try to win a tournament. This is really nice because we have enough tickets that we can actually join one. And we don't win very often, to be quite honest. So it would be nice to catch a dub because you get a lot of good stuff from winning a tournament. Or even if you get like third, fourth, like 2 booster packs, that's not bad, especially since it's free. So that's the goal at the moment. For those of you that are watching, definitely let me know if you like this kind of stuff. As far as music, I'm trying to make sure that one, it's not copyrighted, so I don't get sued, but also two, that it's somewhat relative. I know Wi-Fi, or not Wi-Fi. I know lo-fi is pretty universal for streams, but I figured I'd stick with the Pokemon lo-fi. So let me know how that's going for y'all. I like it, and I hope it's not too loud, but we will see. Might take a second for people to join here. I don't know if we can, but while we're doing that, we are going to redeem some codes. These are the ones that we opened up recently. This one I opened today. This is an Evolving Skies. These are always fun. All right, submit that. Let's just do that. We're gonna try to get this last one in. Yeah, we got 3 people, so we'll be fine. All right, and our Shining Fates, that got us the, let me show y'all. We got some people in here now. Let me go back to the event. Shining Fates got us, I don't know if I want to keep these right here. It's kind of an annoying spot. Got us the Eternatus VMAX. I'm pretty sure this isn't too rare of a card, but I do like that it is very, very pretty. Here, let me go to Streamlabs to see if I can get a decent angle. Very, very pretty card. I think I've pulled this card before, that or just the regular V, not the VMAX. And I've definitely pulled it in the TCG online game. So we are going to see if we can get anything crazy from the packs. We are Tails gang here, just so everyone is aware. Nothing against people that like heads, but we try to be different sometimes. Oh, what a terrible start. I'm trying this card out in my deck. Recently added this, so if you're playing a fire deck, I would try this out. I haven't used it either at all or very many times to really get a gauge for whether it's a good card or not when actually playing it, but we'll keep it in there for now. We're gonna go ahead and tear these up. I'm going to start with my boy Charizard. Yes, sir. Cool. Pulled this card out of a, I pulled this card out of a pack that I bought from the store, from the in-game store, which is pretty sick. So I'm going to go ahead and try to give y'all some strategy and basically how I'm playing, just so it's more understandable as to why I'm actually doing things. I'm not just doing things because I think I'm good, or whatever. Interesting. I like that they gave him a GX. Obviously, they were going to give him a GX at some point in time, but this is probably a strong Pokemon. I can see that part of what he's going to be doing. Okay, number one, he already got a Kyogre that's very, very strong for him because he's going to have this Pokemon ready to do some damage very soon. So what I'm going to do, it's really unfortunate actually. 2 energy. What does this do? This is a really difficult decision. I think I have to, unfortunately, attach an energy to him just so I can get more cards, to be quite honest with you, because at this point it's not looking too great for me. Now I have this, that's not bad. My goal right here is hoping that I can 2-shot him, but we're gonna have to see. If he can get another energy, he can just switch out, avoid taking the 2 prize cards, and knock out my Charizard, which is going to be huge for him. So my goal then is, oh, smart. So not entirely, but we'll see. I'll have to get oh, damn. That's actually really good. That's really smart on his behalf, and here's why. Because he got 2 energy without actually really having to do anything. This is not looking good for me, man. I can't really do anything here. Right now, I'm basically just fiending for energy. I can't really do anything until I have the energy. Unfortunately. But we're not out of the game. Our Pokemon are still up. And don't tell me you have VMAX already. Cool. Cool. So I am actually going to get this prize card, which is really good because it basically means that he gets to waste 4 energy. Not waste, but you know how it is. Alright. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to save Dragonite so that we can let Charizard die. And then we'll bring him back with Dragonite. The question is... No. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this free kill. It's not a free kill because I'm an idiot. What does he have? Interesting. I'm happy I can actually maybe get some more cards. Scorch Earth is not a great card. That's why, like, it's okay. But here's why it's not good compared to other stadium cards. Number one, you're giving a fighting slash earth, not earth, what am I thinking? Ground, or trying to think of what the other one is. Fighting, ground, I guess rock. Rock would be in there too. You're giving that type an ability to get more cards. Unfortunately, he did get a V-Star, which is arguably stronger, but we will see. And then you're only getting 2 cards. What you rather should do, you know, unless you have a fighting, you know, fighting or rock type in your deck, and that's good. That's not bad, no hate. But what you could do instead is you could get something like, I forgot what it's called, but you can discard a card and grab three cards instead. So you're getting more cards and you're making it so that you're not necessarily helping the enemy, which is really good. This is interesting. So what I can do is I can either knock him out, pulling him here, or I can go ahead and... No, I'm going to do that. And here's why. Because I'm going to do this. I'm going to switch him. Right? And then I'm going to get 180 damage off. Boom. Right? Then Charizard is probably going to be knocked out. Right? At some point in time. That makes sense. So then I'm going to have 70 damage on my Blissey that I can do, right? And that means that if I can get another energy on here, I can either defeat Charizard V-Star, or I can just go ahead and take out this, which I don't get the energy. That's really sad. So what I am going to do is I'm going to... I'm going to fish for this. All right, because I need to make sure that I'm doing enough damage in between turns that I can actually like keep up, if that makes any sense. So I need to make sure that I get this Pokemon out of the playing field because it has 4 energies, and if he gets to that point, he can just attack and kill me. He can one-shot me, so that is unfortunate, but that it's good that I was able to do enough damage because now that Pokemon is weak enough that if I just do 100 damage, I can get him out of the game. This is looking really bad for me, though. If I can get a Fire Energy, I might survive this, but I really, really doubt it. So he's going to use Starblaze, his V-Star attack. And to be honest, I don't see myself winning here. This is very unfortunate, but he has a decent fire deck. Let's see. All right, we're going to go... It's really difficult. I'm going to go Blissey because she just has more health. And at the end of the day, it's going to be more worth it that I'm able to survive an attack and switch out. And I don't think my Charizard is going to be able to do that. So, unfortunately, we are going to have to switch some things out. Alright, this is very, very interesting. Okay, we're gonna go... Wait, what do I do? Let's see. I can't use another supporter, so that's not gonna matter. I'm just gonna have to go ahead and attack. Alright, so watch this. I'm gonna go bada bing. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna grab this because it's gonna have enough health that it can take enough damage. Right, then we're gonna grab Cynthia and Caitlyn because those are good things to pull. All right, then we're going to go ahead and attack, do 50 damage, and then we're going to switch out because any amount of damage that fucker is going to do is going to wipe him out. Now the question is, he has 50 health. The question is... No, I have to switch to Blissey. That's unfortunate, but I have to. She has the most amount of health, somewhat, and should actually be able to tank this. If we can get a switch, that would be helpful. He's just gonna get more energy. That's the whole point of a fire deck, man, is to just get energy on your Pokemon. My goal right now is to do enough damage to knock out 2 of his Vs, but this is gonna be really, really difficult. The question... So I need more cards, because if I don't get a switch, then she's just dead this turn. So I'm going to be forced to... I'm going to get rid of Centiskorch, because we're not going to use him at some point in time. And I'm going to grab Lysander, because he's going to become more important if I need to knock out a specific Pokemon, or something along those lines. Alright, so we don't need him. We got like the entire airport hovering over us apparently. So this is I'm in the end game right now. So I need to make sure that I'm getting rid of Pokemon that I don't need, or cards that I don't need. So I'm not going to use you. Let's see. Playmat. I've already used my Caitlyn, so there's no point in trying to get things into my hand from my discard pile. So I'm just going to straight up Boom. We're going to get rid of you. All right, and we're going to draw a card. I think we lost. Basic fire Pokemon. Damn, brother. It's unfortunate. That's a GG's. Good game. We did what we could. We did what we could when we could. If we had just gotten a not a better hand, if we just had gotten, I guess technically a better hand, but if we had just gotten more energy, our whole deck functions off of energy. He just, to be honest with you, he just got very lucky and turn 1 had a Kiawe. But it is what it is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. That's why I labeled this video as tournament slash pubs, because I may not win the tournament and it be like that. I recognize that, number one, people that play tournaments are typically going to be better people, or they're going to have better cards. So in that instance, it was basically just luck. I definitely would have won that situation if I was able to have just a little bit more energy. But at the same time, that's part of the deck. When you're looking at your deck manager, when you're looking at your deck and you're trying to decide what is good, you know, what's the right amount of energy to have, what's the right amount of Pokemon to have, what Pokemon you should have, how many trainers, you're going to want to keep into in the back of your head at some point in time, you know, when you're making your deck, you want to keep in mind two things. Number one, you can't play Pokemon without Pokemon, and you can't play Pokemon without energy. Yes, trainers will help you. See, you can notice how I have, let's see, in this case, I have 10 more trainers than I have energy, and I have 8 more trainers than I have Pokemon. So in that instance, me having more trainers ended up not helping me, because most of the trainers that I got didn't get me the cards that I needed, or if they did, they didn't get me them fast enough, right? And the Pokemon that I had, they weren't bad, but he was able to power up his Pokemon, and that's something that I have to be able to combat. If I don't have the energy, if I can't get to the energy fast enough, then there's no point of me having good Pokemon. There's no point of me having good trainers. If I have the energy in my deck and I have it in my hand, but I don't have the Pokemon, then there's no point of having that energy. There's no point in having the trainers to get those energy, because I don't have any Pokemon to put them on. So you always want to keep in mind how much energy you have and where you're placing them and all that kind of stuff, because you do have a limited amount. Especially with a deck like this, where you're purposefully putting energy into your discard pile, not just to get on your Pokemon or in your hand, not necessarily in your hand for my deck, but to get more cards. You have to be very wary, because if you end up, you know, sacrificing 6 of these cards and the rest 6 are in your deck, they might be spread out really thin, not including your prize cards. If you have energy, sometimes I've had like 4 or 5 energy cards in my prize card, and it didn't necessarily hurt me, but it made it so, which would probably help me, because I don't necessarily want to draw energy cards every turn, but at the same time, like, you want to make sure that you're spreading your energies out well enough, and you have enough that you're not screwing yourself. So the ratio, typically you want to keep, not necessarily, you know, a rule of thumb, but 20-20-20. And here's why. Because if you have 20 trainers, or you have 20 Pokemon, that means that likely out of 1 in 3 cards, it's going to be a Pokemon, right? And if how big is your hand? Like 6? I think you start with 6 and then you draw 1 for 7. So at least, you know, if you have 20 Pokemon, you're gonna have probably 1, maybe 2 Pokemon per hand, right? Yes, you're gonna get a mulligan, but likely speaking, you're gonna get some Pokemon. Now that may not be the Pokemon you want, and that's why it's important to have things like EXs and GXs and Vs and stuff that you know can somewhat handle themselves. If I gave 4 energy to Charizard and Braixen, it's gonna do its job. If I give 4 energy to Reshiram and Charizard, it's gonna do its job. And if I really need to put it on Dragonite EX, it's gonna do its job. Or if not, it's gonna have enough health that it will be able to last a turn or 2, maybe 3, enough time for me to put energy on another Pokemon. Now, if I put out Heatmor, right, if I put out Litleo, it's not going to last as long. So you want to make sure you have a healthy amount of strong Pokemon that are doing, you know, enough damage and having enough health, and enough Pokemon that are, you know, tactful and useful for different things. And this is sort of a problem that I've run into for my deck. I don't want to add too many trainer cards, but there are so many good trainer cards out there. Like I was saying earlier, Heat Factory. This is the card I was trying to mention. You discard one energy card and you draw 3 cards. And you can't even discard this card with like an item or something, right? Like if plays an item card or supporter card, you can't just discard this card. So that makes it immediately more strong or more powerful, because you have to have a stadium to get rid of this card. Or if you have like a Pokemon that like negates their ability or something like that, then that's different, like a Roblox or something, or maybe not a Roblox, but you want to make sure that you're having cards in your deck that are facilitating the goal of your deck. The whole purpose of my deck is to get fire energy into my discard pile and onto my Pokemon, or get fire energy into my discard pile so that I can draw more cards and either get the Pokemon that I need or the cards that I need to get energy onto my Pokemon. So that's why you see everything basically deal with energy. This one, Battle Compressor, yes, I do get Pokemon into my discard pile, and then I'll bust out, you know, Dragonite, and then get the Pokemon I need if I'm down bad or something like that. But really, at the end of the day, where's it at? The Battle Compressor is going to be for discarding energy, typically speaking. Professor's Letter, we got 2 of those. Super helpful. 2 energy basically for free. It's an item. You don't need to, you know, if I wanted to, I could play 2 of these in one turn. Really good. This is useful. I might have to end up scrapping this just because it's not been super helpful in most games. And at the end of the day, one card is one card, right? If I draw the card and I get this card, Boost Shake, over, you know, Reshiram Charizard GX, at the end of the day, I sort of took an L. Now, there are going to be situations in which a Boost Shake is good, but most of the time, a Pokemon like Reshiram and Charizard, or if I end up getting a double V, that's going to be of more value, not just in the long term, but also considering that Boost Shake is going to end your turn. So search your deck for an evolution Pokemon. You can use this card in your first turn. That Pokemon is put into play. Your turn ends. So it's like, you know, if people played back in the day when people were playing Mega Pokemon, when you Mega evolved a Pokemon, because it was so much stronger, you were penalized in a sense by ending your turn for playing that stronger Pokemon, right? Unless you had a Spirit Link. But then that Spirit Link takes up 1 card in your deck. Now, it's not a problem if that's, you know, the main attacker in your deck. Like, for example, if you had Mega Charizard EX, that dude does a lot of damage, right? So it's worth, you know, having the Spirit Link, evolving him, and then doing 300 damage the same turn, right? So that makes sense. But with something like this in a, you know, in a modern deck, it's not typically gonna be worth having your turn end, because there are just going to be so many cards that either you can play or things that are going to be of more value for this one card. Like if I were to add another Heat Factory, it would add that much more value to the deck, because it would means that I would get more often the ability to draw more cards. Similarly, earlier when I was saying, I forgot what it's called, but that other stadium, this is also a really good card to have, because this Giant Hearth, I discard 1 fire energy, I get 2 energy, right? Let's say I do it again, that's 2 fire energy in my discard pile, and I have collected 4 energy from my deck. That is plenty enough energy to go ahead and switch the Heat Factory, discard another energy, and draw 3 cards. That means I have basically 4 turns to draw 3 cards, which is super satisfying, because it means that I can actually facilitate the function of my deck in combination with these 2 stadiums. And even if Giant Hearth goes down, it's really nice to have multiple stadiums, because this will sometimes end up baiting someone else's stadium out, and then you can go ahead and discard their stadium. This is especially important for typings like Psychic. Psychics are really annoying because they have really strong stadiums. Not just that, a lot of Psychic types, especially in the TCG, because Poison and Psychic are going to be the same type for a card. Poison types are really annoying when it comes to stadiums, so you want to make sure that you have some sort of stadium game in play, because if you don't, sometimes you're going to get very punished by someone just having like a 8 damage counter poison stadium or something like that, right? Like a spinner rack does 10 damage and it happens to poise you, and now because of that stadium it's doing like 90 damage per turn, and without any damage. That doesn't include any damage that they're actually attacking you with. So definitely watch out for that. But you know, you always want to make sure and just kind of comb through and look at the cards. Hey, am I actually playing this? Am I actually getting value from this? It was nice that I actually got to play the Kindler. Is that what it is? Kindler. It wasn't bad. This did definitely help me out in a bad situation. And in that situation, I probably wouldn't have gotten the stuff that I needed if not for that card. I did end up losing anyways, but I think this provided a lot of value, and it discards an energy, so it puts an energy card in my discard pile. So definitely look out for the things that you're not using, and try to really capitalize on things that you are using, because those are the whole reason that you're playing. It's the whole reason you put that card in your deck. So when you can, just go ahead and look through your cards and make sure you're putting good things to use. And as much as this sucks, you know, people don't want to do it. You got to look at the meta. You got to look at the cards that are being used, not just because you want to use some of those cards, but because you have to know how to fight these cards. If you don't know how to fight a Night March deck, you're screwed. Now, I personally believe Night March decks are pretty BS. I don't understand why the decks are able to be that strong. No offense, but there should be no reason you should be able to discard like 20-30 cards in a turn. That's absolute nonsense. And it's really sad because it's such a skill-less deck. Like, yes, you can be good at using that deck, but because of the way that it functions, it requires very little skill to use. So when you're looking at other cards, you want to make sure that you're actually putting things in that are going to be good the whole game. Or, you know, provide some sort of value during the game. So he also has a fire deck. Let's see what we get. I don't mind sliding off with the Blissey. Blissey is really good because if I can get energy in my discard pile, then I'm already winning, because I only need to attach 1 energy and I can focus on my other Pokemon, which is really strong. Ooh, Simisear. This is one of the Pokemon that I really want to add to my deck. You may attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your hand to your Pokemon any way you like. Number 1, you put 1 energy on there, and you already have 90 damage for the next turn. Then 30 more damage for each of your opponent's active Pokemon. Super strong. Or if you really need it, you can just attach 2 energy, right, to a different Pokemon. Let's say you have a Charizard V, as I'm speaking, a Charizard V that you really need energy for. Just go ahead and attach it, right? I do not doubt that he's just going to go ahead and use that 1 energy next turn to attach 2 energy to him. He's just going to assume that this Pokemon's going to die, which is fine because it's not going to matter. Probably what he's going to do actually is he's going to attach 2 to Charizard and then 2 more to Simisear, maybe, and then here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end this. Ooh. Fuck it. No, I think 6 new cards is good. Yes, he's getting 3 more cards, but I don't think it should matter. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and do this. Battle Compressor. As I was saying earlier, we're going to go ahead and discard this bad boy, this bad boy. No, we're going to discard these 2. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and add a Wishful Baton. because then at that point we know that this Blissey is going to die, because that's basically her job at this point. Just do as much damage as you can until you're dead. Then we will switch that energy to double V, and or some other Pokemon depending on how many energy we get and when we get them. So we did get the Professor Juniper back, which is really good, because even if we do lose this Kiawe, it'll be really strong. This is really good for us because he did have to switch out his Charizard V. I'm not sure why. Oh, I guess he's trying to protect. He's trying to, no, he's, let's see, 60, 150. At max, this is going to do 150. So I'm not sure why he played that. He did get the rare candy. That's really good for him. I wonder if he has the Leons. So I actually used to run this card in my deck, and here's why. Because it required 2 energy to use 100 damage attack. That's not bad, and it has a decent amount of health. But this Pokemon is a lot stronger if you have Leon cards in your deck. So it's one of those things where it's like, it's sort of up in the air. You know, I don't currently use it, but it's because I don't use Leon in my deck. But I don't know. It's definitely up to you. I think there are better Charizard cards, though. I know for a fact there's a better Charizard card. I can show you after this game. But let's go ahead and try to count out the damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 150. Let's see. 210. Damn, we're only going to do 210. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, this should kill him. This should kill him. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then what I think we're going to go ahead and do, because we have the energy, and even if Blissey dies, we can move the energy to double. We're going to go ahead and Professor Juniper. That way we have 7 cards in our hand. We can play anything that we can play. Cool, we can go ahead and play Salamence. I'm not going to play Sizzlipede right now just because it's unimportant. And if I need to discard a card, I'd rather discard that card than some other cards. Then we're going to go ahead and do this. Tag Call. We're going to grab a Reshiram, and we're going to grab a Guzma. And here's why. Because our deck works so much better with a... One second. With a Stadium card in play. So that is our current goal right now. We want to get Guzma. We can go ahead and discard these 2 energy, get energy back into our discard pile. We are going to draw. I think Pokédex is going to be of more value, and Welder. Here's why. Because next turn, I can basically Pokédex and choose the 2 cards that I want for Welder. Now, I may not actually use Welder, because I'm going to use Guzma. Or maybe not, because here's the thing. He's also a fire type deck, and I don't want to give him an advantage. Also, this song is an absolute fucking bop. I don't know how many of y'all actually played the original Pokemon game, but this song right now, this is basically a remixed... Oh, how did he kill me? I wasn't even looking. Wait, what? Oh, it is energy. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. All right, we're just going to go ahead and... We're just going to go ahead and switch. Here's why. Because Reshiram's going to have plenty of energy to actually knock this Pokemon out. And then, because he took 2 prize cards, right? Let's say he does knock out Charizard GX. That gives us plenty of time to switch to... Or that gives us the room to switch to double V and do plenty of damage with only 3 energy. And he takes 30 less damage every single time. So we will be good. The question is... Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that just in case. Here's what we do. We'll attach this because that's probably better for him. And we're going to go ahead and do this. Great. We're going to do that. And then I do want this Charizard. So we're going to switch to that. Damn. That's one of the only unfortunate things. Sometimes when you end up... I'm gonna grab that. I think that's more important. When you have Pokédexing, sometimes you had a really good you know, next few cards and you actually end up fucking yourself. But we'll be fine. Coolios, go ahead and attach you. Place you. I don't need to place it because I don't need to give him more energy. So unless I need energy, I'm just going to go ahead and attack him. We're going to grab 2 more prize cards. This is probably GG's at this point, but we're not going to make any assumptions just yet. I probably should have grabbed an energy, and here's why. Because just in case this fucker has like an in or something, I don't want to screw myself by not having the energy. Like if he ends and let's say Charizard dies and I don't have the energy to put on double, I'm fucked, right? He's just gonna eventually chip down double V, and I would only have 2 cards in my hand, you know what I mean, to eventually maybe get some energy. So definitely got to try to play as smart as you can at every single point and turn. As much as it doesn't seem like it, and as much as I'm winning, right, this game can turn at any moment. Which is why Pokemon is so fun. It's nice being able to see the combat system really play itself out. Because, you know, it's great to see the Pokemon like show and stuff like that. You know, Charizard fighting Blastoise and stuff like that. Like, that's really cool. So we did end up winning. That's really good. Is that add to our streak? No. We are at a 1 streak, unfortunately. But you know, you would like to think about fighting, you know, certain Pokemon. Like, what would it be like if these Pokemon fought? I think it's really cool because you're not necessarily seeing that, obviously, but you are getting sort of a glimpse into the concept of Pokemon being very unique, right? Like, you may not think it, right? But Pyroar is a super strong Pokemon, right? In this sense, you know, he may not be the strongest Pokemon in an actual setting, but like in this sense, he's very strong, and it's cool because you get to see these Pokemon get a lot of respect, right? Pyroar, the lion Pokemon, I think that's really good that he has a decent ability. Heatmor, super strong, right? Like, you may not think it, but a lot of Pokemon, specifically fire Pokemon, can do a lot of damage if you put them in the right setting, right? Like, for example, one of the first episodes, Pikachu, in order for Ash to beat the gym, he has to basically charge Pikachu up. But that makes sense, right? That makes sense that this Pokemon, this electric mouse, when, you know, super charged, is gonna do a lot of damage. So when you put the Pokemon in the right situation, and, you know, you orient yourself so that you are putting your Pokemon in the right situation, then it's nice to see a Salamence attack a Blissey, that kind of thing. Like, Pokemon should be able to attack each other. Like, you know, you'll see like in the Pokemon game, a level 50 Pidgey, right? It's like, well, why the fuck would there ever be a level 50 Pidgey? Well, maybe someone wants a level 50 Pidgey, right? That level 50 Pidgey is not going to be a push around. Yes, it's going to be a lot weaker than a level 50 Pidgeot, but at the same time, like, that level 50 Pidgey is not going to fuck around. He's not just going to take some shit and, you know, and be a pushover. So at the end of the day, I think it's pretty cool. I want to see more. We're just gonna look up a playlist so we have music. Boom. Hopefully this isn't bad. All right, we're gonna save this. We're gonna see if we got anything. We got nothing. Maybe we'll get something decent out of one of these chests. My goal is to find the right balance of cards, obviously. So much so... Ooh, I forgot I had these. Nice, we can actually open these. So much so that I can actually effectively win games more often than losing. Now, that obviously that's the goal, But the reason is because I actually want to go to tournaments and play against real people, but I don't want to spend the money and buy cards that I know aren't winning, I know aren't good, or I know aren't successful. So as I'm playing and as I'm winning, I'm cultivating a deck that not only addresses the meta, but that stays in time and that is actually able to facilitate its, its function. Because there are certain decks that, one, either don't work anymore or don't work as well as they used to because of buffs or nerfs or meta changes or whatever, right? And so I want to be able to stick with the meta and own these cards and actually physically go to tournaments and beat people, because it's so satisfying to win in game. And I haven't been to a lot of IRL tournaments, but it's satisfying to beat people. And I'd love to win cards as well. I think that'd be really cool. So my goal is to get good enough, get enough cards in the right places so that I can beat people and get more cards, produce more content. Let's see if we get anything good. All right, Shift to Do. Interesting. What year is this? This is 21. Interesting. Got another rare. I've gotten some decent stuff from these boxes, so I always enjoy opening. Sometimes you get some good shit. Latios, Fusing Strike. This is another really strong card in the sense that, number one, does a lot of damage, but two, if you have a water/psychic deck, something along those lines, this is a one prize card, right? So if this just happens to die, it's not going to punish you, but this will knock out a V. This will knock out an EX. This will knock out a GX with one attack. Yes, you're discarding 2 energy, but if you can discard 2 energy, knock out an EX or a GX, a V, whatever, right? You're doing your job. That Pokemon did its job. Once per turn, you may attach a Psychic Energy card from your hand to your Latias. That's actually really funny. It's really interesting. But it just makes sense, right? There are so many cards that just flow together. They just, the whole purpose of them being in that set is to, what's it called? I forgot the word, but to add to a card, to make sure that they're working well. Like Electivire and Magmortar, they're supposed to be played together, typically speaking. Not a great card, but I mean, I can see its value. We have a Flapple. I can't tell you how many of these cards that I've actually gotten, not just in real life, but also in the game. I'm not sure, but I know it's a lot. This is a really rare, not rare. This is a very common rare, interestingly enough. This is really cool though. Like I love that with dragon Pokemon, because they're 2 types, it really makes for really great diversity. Like, I don't know who thought of this Pokemon, but this is a really cool Pokemon. I like that this exists. It flies on wings of apple skin and spits out a powerful acid. It can also change its shape into that of an apple. Like, it sounds boring, but that's actually pretty cool. Also, I have 5 of these. God damn it. That's sick. Right? Like, I don't know, there's just something about that. Like, I like that, they're able to still be really, really creative, and they're really able to do that, especially with dragon types, because dragon types are often multiple types, like Salamence and stuff like that. So I appreciate that. We got Eldegoss. Heal all damage from one of your Pokemon. Now, it's not super strong, and it's very typical that grass types are healing Pokemon, but for 1 energy, that's not terrible. It functions as it's supposed to function, and considering you're only taking one prize card, if it does go down, it's a pretty good budget card. If you can get that onto your Pokemon. Now, considering that it is a stage 1 Pokemon, that's probably not very good, but oh wait, stage 1, no, stage 1, that's not bad. If it was stage 2, it definitely wouldn't be worth it. Interesting. We got a boss's orders. I think I have a Lysander. Maybe I have a boss's orders. I'm not sure, but I have the one in my deck that I like. Let's see what it looks like. I might actually be Boss's Orders. No, it's a Lysander. I like this card. I think it looks pretty good. Obviously, I would like a full art or would like a better card, or better looking card, but I stick with it. I think that was everything that we had. I am actually going to go with y'all. Go ahead and try to remove and try to sort of clean out my deck what I can. And by that, I mean I'm going to remove Boost Shake. And now the question is, right, when you remove a card from your deck because it's not facilitating its purpose, or it's not doing the job often enough that it's worth having in your deck, you have the option, well, does that mean that I replace it with a card that is like it? Meaning, do I give it another trainer card? Or do I add another energy? Or in that case, do I add another Pokemon? So typically speaking, it's going to be better that you just add another Pokemon. Here's why. Number one, if you can add another Pokemon, that might mean that you can add a variety of Pokemon. For example, that now means that I can add... That means I can add Charizard V back. This is really good because, let's just say, for example, I had Charizard V-Star in here. That would mean that I would have a decent opportunity to either get Charizard VMAX or Charizard V-Star on there, because even if I have to discard or if Charizard V dies, right, I still have another Charizard V that I can get to Charizard VMAX, Charizard V-Star. So there's that. There's things like, for example, I guess in this case, you know, for example, Litleo, if there was a better Pyroar, not necessarily, but like maybe Sizzlipede, if there was a better Scorch out there, or if there was another Scorch that really complements, that's the word I was looking for, complements my deck, I can add that in at basically no cost. And if I do end up getting that card in my deck, then it'll be worth it in the future because, you know, I don't have to waste a spot. I am going to show you all the Charizard card that I was referring to. This is a good card. Charizard always does a lot of damage, which is pretty cool. But, yeah. We're going to go through... Man, that's a really pretty card. That's not bad. It's not the greatest, but it's not bad. Damn, brother, 4 energy for 200. That's so cool. That's really, really good because you can basically just attach 2 double colors energy and do 200 damage instantly. And yes, you're discarding 3 energy, but if all of them are fire, it doesn't matter what you put on there, and it will be fire, which is super, super clutch, especially if you're using this card in a deck that you have multiple types in there. So that's not bad. I would love to see that actually used. This one. So this is a really, really strong Charizard card, and here's why. Or at least it would be for my deck. I do maybe want to try putting this in my deck, but it would require, you know, the only difficult part of that is that you have to get from Charmander to Charmeleon to all the way to Charizard. And that's the only risk or gamble that you're playing with playing a stage 2 Pokemon, is that sometimes, you know, your Charmander dies, sometimes your Charmeleon dies. Now if you're paying 2, 3 Charizards in your deck, that kind of thing, you know, actual regular Charizards, not Vs or GXs that you're getting to, then that's different. You have the opportunity to actually get to that card and not, you know, not get him. But if I'm just having one Charizard, then it's probably not going to be worth it. I'd rather play a different card. Like, I'd rather play Cinderscorch because it only requires 2 Pokemon to get to. I'd rather play Pyroar because it only requires 2 Pokemon to get to. That kind of thing. Or I'd rather play 2 Blissey than having to, you know, blah, blah, blah. Let's go ahead and look at this. Once per turn, you may put 2 damage counters on this Pokemon. Number 1, this Pokemon has 150 health. So that's a good amount of health, right? To start off. You're taking damage, but you have a decent amount of health. If you do, search your deck for up to 2 energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. Then, for 2 energy, basically, so as soon as you have this Pokemon onto your bench, onto your starting position, right? discard all energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 50 more damage for each energy discard in this way. So immediately, you can do 130 damage. This does not include the energy that one you put on there or two or have already on there, right? Or that you get on there because of a different Pokemon or whatever, right? So I've seen people basically do like 250 damage as soon as this Pokemon gets onto the playing field. Yes, they're discarding all of their energy, but when you're playing a fire deck, the whole point is to get energy from your discard pile onto your Pokemon. For example, let's say I get to use the ability, I get 2 energy, right, onto this Pokemon. Then let's say I already have 2 energy in the discard pile. Then I use Trainer. I use Blacksmith. That gives me 2 energy onto my Charizard. Then I go back. That's another 2 energy. That is 230 damage that I get to do to a Pokemon for basically nothing. I didn't have to attach any of that Pokemon. I didn't have to attach any of that energy to that Pokemon. That then gives me energy to attach to another Pokemon instead of having to attach it to Charizard. Or if I want, I can do more damage. Let's say I wanted to go ahead and attach an energy. That is then 280 damage that I'm doing to a Pokemon. And that is super, super strong. And here's the kicker, right? At the end of the day, all of this Charizard is doing 130, 200, 280 damage, whatever you want to amount of damage you do. Number 2, or what's happening is you have 2 retreat. So if you need to retreat this Charizard, you can just get the energy onto your Pokemon and retreat it. That's number 1. Number 2, if Charizard does die, it's 1 prize card. He's doing as much damage as, Charizard V. He's doing as much damage as nearly as Charizard V Max, right? And you're only punished for 1 prize card if he does end up dying. So what people will end up doing is they'll speed through their deck, get a Charmander on there, then they'll speed through it, try to get a Charmeleon, and eventually get their Charizard onto the field. And then once they get 2 or 3 Charizard, it's basically done at that point, because they're getting enough energy onto their Pokemon and doing enough damage that you typically just can't keep up unless one either have strong Pokemon, or they have really good abilities, that kind of thing. So when I was looking at that Charizard, I was like, yeah, it's okay. But if you don't actively play Leon in your deck, then it's not nearly going to be as strong as another kind of Charizard. And because Charizard is one of the fan favorite Pokemon, of course they're going to give him a really strong attack. It's just what it is. Charizard is a strong Pokemon by nature. It also looks for stronger Pokemon to fight every single time. So it makes sense that this fucker is just going to hit you with the world's biggest fireball. Like, it is what it is. This Pokemon attack does 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon for each of their GX and EX Pokemon in play. That is clutch. Discard energy from the Pokemon. This, requires 3 energy. But if this fucker is playing GXs, right, or has some EXs, that's not bad. That's good damage. You know what I mean? And like I said, 2 retreat cost and one penalty prize card if you end up dying. So, a lot of these cards are very valuable when it comes to the game. So, man, they really do make most of the Charizard cards really, really pretty. Except for this fucking... Oh my goodness, that is so hideous. I have not seen this movie yet. Unfortunately. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for that. I haven't seen it yet. It's actually somewhat upsetting. But I think it's going to be somewhat good. And I look forward to seeing it. But this card is horrendous. Oh my goodness. Raging Destruction. Discard the top 8 of your cards. 8 cards of your deck. If any of those cards are fire energy, attach them to this Pokemon. Steam Artillery. Discard energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon. So, as I'm looking at it, yes, this card can do a fair amount of damage. I'm not complaining about that. But it seems a little overkill. It's a lot of damage. So, it's not crazy. But if you end up not getting a lot of energy, you're basically throwing away a lot of good cards, especially if you have a lot of good cards in your deck. Or or cards that are important to facilitating the function of your deck, you know, this could be either a big win or a big L, not considering that, you know, you have to actually attach these energy onto your Pokemon. Number one, if you don't get the energy, you're SOL, and number two, you still have to wait to attack. So that other Pokemon either is one, going to get another energy onto their other Pokemon, or two, they're going to be able to attack you in the meantime, and you want to take as least damage as possible. So considering that this Pokemon requires 5 energy, sometimes that's just not going to be the move. And you're discarding 8 energy per turn. If this is late game, this card is gonna be very, very bad. If you have 10 cards left and your Charizard GX is the only card that you're able to play, and you don't have a lot of energy in your deck, you're SOL. This card is not going to serve you what it needs to serve you. So it's just important to make sure that you're putting cards in your deck that are able to keep up at most points of the game. Such a beautiful card. Discard the top 10 cards of your opponent's deck. That is a better option, right? 1 GX attack, you can just insta win, right? This, on the other hand, is a very good late game card. 3 energy for 70 attack. It has 250 health, which is not bad, right? And if you have the energy to spare, not to mention these are colorless, right? I can attach 1 fire and a double colorless and do 70 damage. Or I can attach 3 energy and then a double colorless and do 300 damage, right? I'm doing enough damage per turn that it shouldn't really matter for the most part. This is discarding 3 fire energy, which is pretty tragic, but you are doing a lot of damage. I would say most of the time you're not going to be needing this damage, which is unfortunate. But it's not a terrible card. If you can get this card, you know, onto the field, it's very intimidating. Especially when you're able to just straight up discard 10 cards from your opponent's deck. Not only are you, you know, limiting the amount of cards that they're actually able to play, thus possibly making it so that they can't draw anymore and lose, but sometimes you get rid of very important cards, right? Like if they really needed that Kiawe, or they really needed that, you know, that 2 energy that they were supposed to get, and they don't get it, that's gonna benefit you. So definitely look into that Pokemon. This is one that I really want to put in my deck. Discard energy from this Pokemon, 200 damage. Plain and simple, 220 health. It's good. 200 damage, that's going to knock out most EXs. That's going to knock out a decent amount of GXs if you have some damage on them. You're only discarding 1 energy, and it only requires 3 energy. For most Pokemon, you're not going to be getting 200 damage for 3 energy. Unless it's like a fighting type or something. So definitely really, really slept on. I don't see this played too much, or if it is, it's still really slept on in my opinion. Look at this. Like, why are you a dark type? I mean, obviously, you're a little bit different, but, you know, it's just funny. Back when they first started introducing dragon Pokemon, like, seriously, it's crazy. Very pretty card. All right, I'm gonna stop lecturing. I'm going to. This is really difficult though, because there are so many Pokemon that I can just add. Like if I could, I would have just added a Simisear, but I don't. I don't have one. Why does that not show? Is it Sima? Sima? Sim? Oh, I guess that's how you spell it. Let's see if he's any decent. Water Fling. That's interesting. 10 damage on the number of cards in your hand. That's not terrible. If you have a lot of cards in your hand, that could be pretty strong, but I mean, it's not really worth it. For now, just because I don't want to have to deal with it, I'm just going to add another energy. Because I think that one game in which I didn't have enough energy sort of gave me PTSD. I just don't want to be in that situation in which I'm not having the energy that I can use. Or maybe I'll just add another special energy. I think that might be better, because sometimes I'll be trying to grab a special energy. No, I got 4. I think I'll be fine. Yeah. Just because I hate not having energy, and I would say less than people typically have. So I definitely want to try to, you know, catch up in that sense. So we're going to save that, and then we are going to play one more, and then I'm going to leave y'all. But that is only because we did end up losing that tournament. Unfortunately, it'd be like that. I respect that I lost to a fire deck, because fire decks are really strong, but at the same time, if you're not playing them well, right, it's gonna bite you in the butt, because they can do so much. If you're missing opportunities, or if you don't know how to take advantage of opportunities, then it's gonna punish you, in the sense that you're not gonna do nearly as much damage as you could, or you're not gonna be escaping things that you should have, you know, escaped, however you want to say it. Unfortunate start. I got a Silisipede. Now, it's not terrible, just because technically I can still do damage. I can do a decent amount of damage, but I have been very unlucky with my Silisipede. I don't know any times that I've actually really done damage with Silisipede, not just because I'd rather use other Pokemon, but also, god damn it. Why do you have two of those? Alright, we're going to go ahead and Steven. Here's why. Because we're going to grab you. And then we're going to grab you. That way we can go ahead and grab... Damn. Okay. We're going to discard him, and then we're going to discard 2 energy. This is going to be a very interesting game, I will say. Very pretty card, obviously, but very, very annoying and extremely... Like, I understand that it's a card, it be like that, but this is just such an annoying and OP card. I've already lost. GG's. Especially when you have a double dragon energy. Fuck you. But it's just super, super strong. I really wish they didn't introduce it into the game, but it is what it is. It just requires very little skill to play and rewards you for just having the cards. Obviously, you can play around the card and you can make sure that that card is, you know, doing its best, but it's just very annoying to play against just because it's just that good. And it has a lot of health, so even if you have some damage on it, you're going to have to take a turn or two to actually kill it. Cool, so what we're going to do... Oh, interesting. Alright, here's what we're going to do. We're going to discard this. We're going to go boom. Alright, we're going to make sure we grab... Nice. We're going to make sure we grab a decent Pokemon to start with. We're going to go ahead and get Charizard. And then we're going to grab double Wishful Baton, Energy, and Volcanion. Because Volcanion's not super great. Oh, I think I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I think. Yes, I'm an idiot. I could have won. Not won, but I could have, just because he played that ball. But it could have been a very, very strong position if I would have just... this is getting scary. If I would have just... Oh, interesting. I actually just fucked myself in that sense. So what I should have done, other than the fact that, you know, that he's playing that attack, devour. That is really unfortunate. But what should have happened is I should have put... Damn. It's so weird. Alright, we're gonna go boom, boom. Discard those two. We're gonna grab a heat factory. I think we're gonna grab that. 'Cause I think that makes sense. Here's why. Because then we get to put you on there. Then we get to grab you. Grab 3 more cards. Get nothing, of course. So I'm just going to try to kill this Pokemon because it's probably better that I just go ahead and get rid of him. Let's see. I guess. This is very interesting. I've never seen this play before, by the way. Like I've seen this card before, but I've never seen someone actually play a Durant deck. That's really interesting. That's really cool. It's probably annoying considering this dude has 3 of them already in play. So we'll see, but wait, let me check how much energy I have in here. 6. Okay, I think we'll be fine. Coolios. And we're gonna add this. I don't think we're gonna need Charizard VMAX. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of him. We're gonna go boom. Then we're gonna go boom. I'm gonna get Sizzlipede in there. Then we're going to attack. And we're going to grab Reshiram. And here's why. Because this is going to be doing enough damage that I can possibly one-shot Durant, especially if I can get 1 damage onto Reshiram. I can definitely one-shot him. And he has a lot of health, so if he does end up doing a lot of damage for some reason, and he's not necessarily discarding all of my cards, then I can still win. But we'll see. Got rid of my Lysander. That's unfortunate. Okay, so unfortunately, because of the way his deck functions, I can't function my deck. I can't be drawing with Heat Factory and adding a lot of cards to my hand because it's not going to help me. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to retreat this guy. Retreat. Get rid of those 2 bad boys. And I'm going to add an energy. My boy. Yes. This is the move. Then I'm going to attack. Boom. Right? Then I'm going to add you. And that's it. Yeah, 6 energy in this card pile should be enough. And then now I can grab special energy, attach that to Charizard, and now he can do enough damage that I can kill a Durant without having to add any more energy. Like, yes, I could use Double Blaze, that kind of thing, but like, you know. So it's going to take at least 4 turns to knock out his Pokemon. I want to see if he gets them. Oh, wow. gonna go ahead and give him the "you have a good deck," but we'll see. Let's see if he discarded my Pyroar. He didn't. So if I can get my Pyro on here, no, because he's just gonna discard my deck. That makes sense. Four cards, brother. Can I get it in? Or is that dead? In. That's a good question. Are you my prize cards? You're not. So I probably have a decent chance of grabbing an in. So I'm gonna do that. Why are you not here, dude? This is getting tough. So I have to grab this. Ooh, if I can get the energy on the Heatmor, I can speed up the process. This is interesting. I'm actually going to grab Eldegoss. And here's why. Because... No, I should have grabbed... I should have grabbed the energy to put onto Heatmor. That was stupid of me. Just because I'm going to end this turn. So I can get more cards into my deck. So that he can't just insta-oof me. I don't think he'll be able to win this turn, which is good. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6. He'd have to get a really, really lucky turn. But it's not impossible. Cool. Oof. Awesome. So we do have Pyroar. We are going to in. Yes. Cool. I have more cards on my deck, so I'm not just going to insta-lose. Awesome. Now I'm going to attack. Done. I'm going to go ahead and grab this. And we're going to pray. We're going to pray that he doesn't end up winning this turn. No, he won. GG's. It'd be like that. That's a very interesting deck. I've never seen that played before. Good on him, man. Yeah. That's how this deck functioned, and he ended up winning. It do be like that. Unfortunately, we did lose. But that's the beauty of Pokemon. Sometimes you lose to a Durant. Sometimes you lose to a Charizard. And you just gotta accept that. But that's Pokemon. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all learned something. I know I probably sound like I'm preaching and shit, but I really do hope y'all learned something because this game is very fun. There is so much to learn. I've been playing this since I was like literally 12, and I'm 19 now. So, and I'm sure people have been playing it way, way longer than me ever since the game actually came out. So, if you've ever been interested, no, y'all are already watching, or I guess, but definitely come back. Especially if you want to see more games, especially if you want to see me actually win some of them. So definitely come back. I'm going to try to edit my deck, make it a little